time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
You're working out, eating right, living a healthy lifestyle, but your energy sucks. This could be a sign of low testosterone. Where do you turn for help? The answer is Limitless Male, the #1 testosterone clinic for men in the Midwest. Start by scheduling your free consult at one of our 13 clinics. If low T is the diagnosis, a custom treatment plan will get your energy back on track. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. And tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School crew? We're coming at you live, 1040 O Street. DP is out in Hawaii, handling business. He covered the game last night, did a really good job giving some thoughts on Nebraska defensively smothering Murray State. But we are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Austin, a lot was going on this weekend. Obviously, last night was let's start with Husker basketball because I think we got to spend some time on college football playoffs.
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, and for you guys listening, both locally and then obviously online and all the different social media stuff, text in some of your let's go text in some of your fondest Christmas break memories, right? Just because there's not a lot. Well, it used to be. This is before you were probably even a thought, Austin. There wasn't a lot of stuff going on sports-wise Christmas. Now it just seems it's NBA's day. Essentially, when the NBA season starts, is Christmas Day. Remember, they brought Ja Morant back and everything, so forth and so on. But speaking of basketball, the men's basketball team is out in Hawaii. 8 o'clock tip-off last night. And from the very beginning, I think you saw, I call it a spillover from the Indiana game. Good toughness, good defensive rotations, and I think they set the tone early defensively. And I think that comes from an experience from Fred Hoiberg, knowing, listen, I think it's 2 or 3 time zones that you go, and it's a long flight, and you get there, and you get, I call it the Disneyland effect. You get there, and a lot of people first time in Hawaii, and you kind of get used to the time change and going around and seeing stuff. He probably maybe forecasted that, you know what, we might not be on offensively, but we're gonna pack our defense, and that's exactly what they did last night.
It was, and I think some of Murray State's shooting troubles, if not most of it, is due to Nebraska and its length, its activity defensively. Later in the game, there were some weak closeouts, not as much feet chopping, a lot of standing up. But early on, Nebraska was engaged, and it had to be against the Murray State team that was clearly less talented than Nebraska. But Nebraska has turnovers its first 2 possessions. Like you said, took a while for Nebraska to get going offensively. But this is a team, Jay, that even if it needs to be built on defense and being consistent on that end of the floor, it's taken the offense to spark this team a couple times. St. Mary's comes to mind. It didn't happen against Michigan State, but Nebraska didn't dive in on defense. They absolutely did last night in the opening game of the tournament. And that's a great way to send a message, right? Nebraska comes into this tournament as the clear favorite. It's the best team in the field. And the way that you don't just win last night's game, but the way you beat Hawaii tonight and the way you win down the road, everyone's taking notice of you. Right. Yeah. They know that you're the big dog in the field. So what do? You don't give Murray State a chance. Yeah. They cut it to 12 with 3.5 minutes to go and then didn't score again. Yeah. After only scoring 14 points in the first half, which is a record low in this this Diamond Head Classic in the history of it. Nebraska sent a message. Other teams know that, Nebraska isn't here to mess around. They're not just here for Christmas break. Nebraska's here to play basketball, and that started on the defensive end in the first half.
You want your first impression to be your lasting impression. I think it was a really good job by Fred Hoiberg and company to really understand the moment and the type of situation that you're in, but then also getting the guys to buy in and do stuff. And I think, look, when your 6th and 7th guy can really pretty much win the game for you, and also Raleigh as well, because you got to think Juwan Gary was off. Burkhead was decent. I mean, obviously 3 of 6 and 50% from the field, 9 rebounds, so he's better than decent. But your 2 main cogs as far as offensively were definitely off, and that's Bryce and Juwan. And then obviously Connor Esigian came off, and he's the one that got the party started. So a couple threes, hit the deep one, and then the defense didn't let up, and then they got a big lead and really imposed their will. They really wore down Murray State, even though Murray State outscored them by 3 in the second half. I call it a hollow winning half for Murray State. It's where they never really had a chance to come back and make a game of it. So I think the more ways that you can show that you can win with the evolution of this team, trying to find the rhythm, rotations, players' roles, and identity, I think it will bode well down the stretch. And so I think the biggest thing that Nebraska possibly could be looking for, and hopefully it's maybe this week, is a big game from Braxton Mia. And the reason why I say that's important, one is going to be it's confidence for him because he's a big physical guy in the lane. It was extremely physical with him. I mean, there was a couple of times I felt like he got fouled and Murray State tried to close or double team pretty hard. You want him to have a game to where he's able to get loose a little bit because that'll open up your 3-point shooters, but also continue along the process of him being kind of your lunch pail guy. You got to think he's the starting center. He plays 15, 16 minutes last night. You'd like to see him more active on the boards, but that's going to come off of him, maybe getting some early touches. I think if you feel very comfortable against Hawaii, I'm purposely going to pound that ball inside to him to get him some early touches, which then will activate him possibly on the defensive end.
And we've seen Nebraska do that before. I think back to Northwestern at home last year, right after they went to the 2 big starting lineup with Josiah Alec and Rink Mast. And I think again against Michigan, when Michigan came to Lincoln, same sort of thing. Nebraska had that size advantage. They went inside. Hawaii's bigger than Murray State, but still not a huge team. Nebraska's post should be better. But this, Jay, is kind of that interesting sort of dynamic in this NIL era, in that I think for Nebraska to be its best, it's not running things through Braxton Mia, but a big night for Braxton Mia is set up more by everyone else, right? I think that Nebraska didn't get him cheap, right? That's a 7'1", 250-pound mobile guy that runs the floor, that protects the rim. That's not cheap in the portal. You don't get that guy just to say, be a role player. But guess what? He needs to be a role player.
Yeah.
He needs to thrive in his role, be consistent at defending the rim, at rebounding, at running the floor. You'll have games like North Florida where you get, 5 or 6 lobs at the rim. Awesome. Great. Congratulations. That's your reward for your hard work. But in my opinion, for Nebraska to be at its best,
right,
Braxton Mia is that role guy, right? When guys are overplaying Bryce Williams, trying to get the ball out of his hands, when guys are late to rotate, that's when they throw it up to Braxton Mia. And sure, Nebraska's missed him plenty of times this year. If Nebraska needs a post bucket, I'm going to Andrew Morgan. If Nebraska needs an athleticism advantage, I'm going to Bearcade Boyington Gel. But what Nebraska might need sometimes too is an enforcer, right? In Braxton Mia, protect the rim, be that physical, imposing, dominant force at the rim. I think Braxton Mia can be a star in his role for this team, even if his big game isn't, 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting. It might be he has 3 block shots, which is, not killer, but it's enough. It's plenty. But mostly his size is a deterrent, and his leaping ability, keeping defenses back on their heels and letting other guys go. A big game for Braxton Mia looks a lot different than it does for Andrew Morgan, who had a big night last night.
Yeah, I think really for him, I think last night he showed a little bit of glimpse of being that enforcer. So he was down on the north end in the first half, and it was called a turnover, but I mean that double team was pretty hard. And he lost it. And so he hustled back on defense, and then Murray State got in kind of a secondary break, and he hammered the guy. And that was probably the highlight, because I was like, you know what, that's a good foul. I know you're frustrated. You go to the hoop, you're going to pay for it. So I think the more that he can do, because you're going to need more than 15 minutes out of him. You're going to need 18 to 20 good minutes out of him night in and night out. And however that's, spread out. And I know it's the first game, you want to get some other guys some playing time. But ultimately, the better that he is able to play his role, you're 100% correct, the better that this team will be. Because there's going to be a time where he's going to have to see, like a big game for him might be like 6 points, 8 rebounds.
Oh, yeah.
In a big game.
It's an impactful game. Yeah. There's a difference, I think, sometimes between an impactful game and a big game.
Yeah.
But, if Braxton Mia is scoring 20 points, good for him. He's found a way to do it, but he's not Zach Edey.
Yeah.
Right. He's not Armando Baycott. He's not Hunter Dickinson. He's not Oscar Sheboy. There's not necessarily, he's DeAndre Jordan, right?
Yeah.
That's who he is from the Clippers, right? Sure, DeAndre had big games when teams were terrible in pick and roll coverage, but what did he bring to those Lob City Clippers teams? That enforcer mindset.
Yeah.
He cleared glass all the time. He ran the floor. He set hard screens. You're going to feel me. That's part of being an enforcer. So again, I'm not too carried away by Braxton Mia's stat line. To me, if Braxton Mia is playing well, Nebraska's playing well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, you just want to make sure that he's there, because I think as you go along, to be able to have like flexibility lineup wise and rotation wise, you want to make sure that he has it, especially in a tournament like this where you feel like you have an advantage and you can kind of tool with some, mess with some things. Now, obviously, you don't want to get over your skis and show up and doing that, but also you can have it in the back of your mind. It could be, you see a lot of coaches with like little notepad or note cards. It could be at the bottom highlight right here at this point in time. And sometimes it might be the flow of the game, or if you're up by a certain amount of points. And it's also sometimes that you have to force your team to pound it in there, to get it in the block, to get some paint touches, to open up your star players. Allow Juwan Gary to be a drive and dive guy, and Bryce Williams to do his thing. So it's not just solely for Braxton, it's for everybody else, because you want Fred Hoiberg's offense, no matter if it's two bigs or not, it's always been predicated on good spacing, getting really good shots, really, really efficient on offense. His best teams have always been excellent, spacing the court, being very, very efficient when they rotate the basketball to get into any type of move you want, and it almost looks like poetry in motion. You can do it with big guys, but you also have to be purposeful about doing it early in the season or a controlled situation like this. So then, therefore, it gives everybody else something to prepare for.
Greg from Lincoln on the text line says, play two bigs together and then 3 out, pick and roll, pick and pop, great rebounding. If only it were that simple, right? Because let's say that it's with Boyington Gel hobbled with the ankle injury. Let's say it's Morgan and Mia on the floor together. Great. You have two guys that are 6'10" and above there. Sure. But here's the thing. It's not middle school basketball where your tallest kids can just play catch off the backboard until they get one to jump in. What college defenses and college teams will do, they will pack the paint. Where's Bryce Williams' best advantage? Going downhill to the rim.
Yeah.
Raleigh Wooster's best advantage, going downhill to the rim. Juwan Gary, best when he's going downhill at the rim. If it's say, just play two bigs together and then three guys on the perimeter, you got to be really careful with that, right? That's why I like what Fred Hoiberg is able to do in his typically 5-out system. You'll see Nebraska play a little bit of 4-out, 1 in a little bit. They tried to do some high-low with Boychengel down low and Morgan as the passer. Teams get wise to that. You can't rely on that every possession, really, unless you're Bill Self, right?
Yeah.
He's been so good at that high-low stuff for 20 years now at Kansas. Not always a part of Nebraska's DNA. So it's not just as simple as, just have one big guy down low, run a pick and roll with the other one. All of Nebraska's bigs are still best in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
Sure, they'll pop Boychengel, sure, they'll pop Morgan, but teams don't respect their outside shot nearly as much, which is where you need those guys on the perimeter, to Jay's point, creating space. Even if they're not as comfortable, threaten it, screen, re-screen, because you can't just stick one guy on either block or one guy at the elbow and one guy in the block and say that's enough space for Nebraska's guards and wings to slash to the rim. It's just not going to work consistently.
Yeah, and that's why when a couple years ago where we had Sam Griesel, where he was able to kind of be that extra, inside presence, and obviously it was really, really good with Derek Walker, so they could kind of switch roles. And you can do that, actually. It gives you, a lineup flexibility with Juwan Gary and say a Braxton if Burke is a little bit banged up, because you can flip roles. You can run your essentially 4-out, but then you can bring Braxton to be the high guy and let Juwan Gary get busy a little bit down underneath. He's probably a better passer initially, especially out of the double team, just from experience. And also we saw last game to get the Siegen and maybe, Bryce Williams some open shots to be able to hit some threes to soften that defense up. So there's different ways you can get to it. But I think the way, and I know Fred knows what he's doing, but it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. Especially when you start to play Cale Jacobson and Sam Hoiberg. This is where you can kind of almost have that, like a version of the Golden State Warriors death lineup. You could have a lineup specifically when they come in, this is their identity, and they're going to give you problems. It's like your off-speed pitch, and it's coming. Like Rivera for the Yankees, it's coming, but you can't stop.
That lineup for me is Wooster, Esijan, Williams, Gary, Boychengel.
I like that one.
That to me is that Warriors death lineup for Nebraska.
Yeah. And plus Raleigh has he has an old school name.
Raleigh.
Just
needs that handlebar mustache.
Exactly. He's called me Raw. And he looked like he had a little cut on his eye.
He did. Speaking of Raleigh too, R.I.P. Ricky Henderson.
I know.
Dang.
That's tough. Yeah, man.
He's like 65.
I know. That's tough.
Yeah.
And anybody that talks in the third person that much is a legend in his own right, man. Anyways, good first segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back. We'll talk a little portal news. We'll save the college football playoffs talk for the top of the 5 o'clock hour, but then also keep sending in your fondest Christmas break sports memories. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with the Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. And tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
It's that special time of year again, with bowl games galore, ugly Christmas sweater parties, and way too much eggnog. And like clockwork, you still haven't bought any gifts yet. Great news! Your procrastination headquarters this year is at Tailored Life in Bennett. Avoid the long lines in Lincoln stores and head down Highway 2 to Bennett. Just a 20-minute drive, and their staff will help you pick out the perfect gift for your mom, wife, or significant other. Procrastination has an answer this year at Tailored Life in Bennett.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back, second segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school, Portal Talk. The numbers are always astounding, Austin. I got my last update at 431. I don't know what the numbers are, but it's actually pretty cool. I mean, obviously, I got a little movement Husker-wise. Kai Whalen, the defensive end outside linebacker, he is committed. He is going to Oregon State. That is just hot off the press. So wish him all the best and whatever he ends up going and doing. Obviously, Nebraska had a big kind of not a big kind of it, but his position is either safety, kind of like a hybrid linebacker. Desan McCullough, Oklahoma Sooner, originally going to be a Husker. I think he provides a lot of flexibility, which is good because he's played a multitude of positions. Brings some serious size and speed and ability to blitz. So, and then when you're blitzing at 6'5", 235, and that can run, your position is wherever you start making plays.
I really like that addition for Nebraska too, because we'll see what you can get from Nawarni right on the defensive line. But I think that a guy like McCullough is proven as he is. Again, another Kansas City connection. His dad, DeLand, has been with the Chiefs for a while, coaching running backs. I think a guy like that at 6'5", 235, the frame reminds me a lot of Javen Wright. Maybe a little skinnier, not quite as bulked up, but I think a 6'5", rangy athlete with a lot to do, Jay, is that playmaker that Nebraska's been looking for at the second level, right? Sure, they've had safeties, a corner here and there. Rough at the linebacker position this last year, not what we thought it was going to be outside of John Bullock. So again, whether he's playing in middle of the defense as a linebacker, whether he takes over for Isaac Gifford in that rover kind of position, he can be a box safety with some ability to rotate deep, whatever it is. It's a guy that over the course of his career has made plays, and if nothing else, is just an unpredictable piece that's hard to game plan for or around because you don't know how Nebraska is going to end up using him.
Yeah, the more you can get big, fast athletes out there, the better you could be. I think that when you think of a Javen Wright or this young man, obviously they're going to be going against guys sometimes if they're lined up in the slot or covering out there in space, guys that are probably a step or two, maybe, or a step and a half faster than them, but that length and their own speed will make up for that. So then also you're able to cover a lot more ground at 6'5", 235 versus like 6 foot, 210. So, another good get. You got to keep adding. I'm sure they're well, at least I know they're still actively recruiting people. The portal itself. The funny thing is when you look at some of the top players in the portal, it's always interesting where they end up going. One of the guys that ever since he was in high school looked like a cheat code, Malik Murphy. I'll never forget the social media post when he walked out from the locker room and it was like somebody looks like a Power 5-star kid, and it was him. Size of a defensive end, kind of a a Cam Newton 2.0 body type. Went down to Duke and did really well. We had a big asking price in the portal, upwards of potentially $3 million, and he ends up at Oregon State, which I would maybe argue, kind of depending on the financials, which we know Duke is not hurting for it, but depending on how they approached it, I'm not sure if that's the best move for him. Number one, you're going from a Power 4 conference that and you have a head coach that believes in you, and Diaz. You have some continuity locally, within Duke. To go all the way out to Oregon State, that's not even in a conference.
Yeah.
That's
make sense.
Make it.
He must like the way he looks in orange.
The only way, right? Yeah, because the original was Texas. That was a good one. The only way that you go that far out there is if they paid you so much money, you can't say no. Or your asking price was so outlandish. I'm saying the same thing that everybody else said no, and they were dumb enough to say yes.
Right.
Because there's not more talent out there.
No. I mean, Manny Diaz continued what Mike Elko was doing at Duke. In fact, took it even a step further to play in Ole Miss in the Gator Bowl here coming up. It would have made more sense to me, Jay, if Malik Murphy said, hey, I see what Oregon State did with DJ Uiagalelei, a guy that, had a checkered past at Clemson, went out there, but it's a different head coach. If it was Jonathan Smith in that offense, I'd say, okay, I mean, they're not the exact same player, but big body, look really good, big arm, mobile enough. I can at least see the the rough outline for it, but it's not Jonathan Smith.
Yeah, it's Trent Bray, the former Nebraska linebacker coach under
Mhm.
Mike Riley. That's all great.
And that's nothing against Trent.
No, it's not. And Trent's a great coach. And, for him to be the head coach, he's obviously done some really good things. He was a good player when he was there as well. But that was back when they were in the Pac-12.
Right.
That was in a magical year for the Pac-12.
They're in the vortex themselves right now.
They're in free agent. You don't know who they're going to play.
No.
And who you're affiliated with. And you don't have a streamline to bigger games. You're essentially going from the ACC, which has their own network, Power 4, which I think the ACC is going to get better by the uptick of SMU and Clemson's success and Bill Belichick being on the scene.
Yeah.
Right? So that you already know. And then Miami. So the cream is starting to rise to the top. And then you leave that conference to go to Oregon State of all places. Could you not go back to Duke? Say, listen, I have a second thought. I think you're pretty cool. Like, you can't go back?
I didn't cheat on you. I just stepped out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I just went to a movie. You got a couple popcorn. I didn't pay for anybody else's popcorn. I got my own.
It's just coffee. It's okay.
So it's just weird when you look at some of these guys and where they go. And, one of the big other gets out of the transfer portal is, speaking of let's call him the Pac-2, is Washington State's old quarterback, John Mater. He goes from Washington State to Oklahoma. They needed a quarterback. Hopefully they don't change their mind again. But number 2, according to 24/7 Sports, is a guy that obviously has a little bit of a Nebraska connection, only by one of our former players going there, is Patrick Payton, 6'5", 250, outside edge. So he's a DN going to LSU.
Oof.
Well, that's where Jamari Butler's going. Now, that might be your 2 bookends, because I think their edge from last year is going to Ole Miss.
I think
it's Ole Miss. So it's musical chairs. Eric Singleton, of all places, ends up going to Auburn.
Yeah. There's a lot of smoke around that one for a while.
Well, sure. Now, that's probably money related. Now, everybody that Auburn's been getting is not superstar players, guys that have a couple years of eligibility left that have been productive. And I think the selling point for Auburn is, we're trying to revamp our offense. We want all you guys to go through this together. And that's probably maybe a good way for them to go to recruit.
And who's going to be throwing to Eric Singleton?
Man, I just saw this. Where is he?
Jackson Arnold
from Oklahoma. I did see that. And that's not a match made in heaven either.
No.
That's like, all right, I didn't know you really liked me. You saw me from afar.
It's like Bo Nix without the history.
Yes. Because Bo Nix was not. I think he needed Oregon more than Oregon needed him. He needed a place to go off the beaten path, and it worked out magical. Obviously, he's doing really, really good in the league. So it's just where guys end up going is always interesting. And here we'll dive in this. We got 4 more minutes. So here's what they have here, Austin. You know how you have the recruiting rankings.
Mm-hmm.
The portal rankings is probably what I like the most, right? Because the recruiting rankings are just they're just guys out of high school, right? I mean.
They ain't
gonna do nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, except we got Jeremiah Smith, right?
Boy balled out.
Right. Texas Tech, they're taking the old Kansas State adage. 17 commits out of the portal. They're leading. They're number 1. That West Texas oil money. Next is Brian Kelly.
LSU.
13 commits, right? So he said, listen, we got to turn this bad boy around. We got to get into this college football playoffs. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, which if there's a coach that fits the portal, I'm going to recruit. And Lane's a good dude.
Yeah.
A little quirky, but he's a good dude. He's not he's not. The one thing I'll say about Lane that's great is that, and give him credit for it, and very few coaches can do this, is obviously probably a little bit too much too quick. Had some issues at different places. Got definitely over his skis, got humbled, but was humble enough to actually face it, rectify it, and come out on the other end. I mean, it's you got to commend him for it. Now, whether you like him, love him, I know he took a lot of heat by tweeting, on the weekend until Tennessee started to get whooped. But ultimately, I think this is what helped him be very, very secure in Ole Miss and where he's at to be able to do some of the things he's doing, because he's actually faced some of the issues, and I don't know, not issues, but just some of the negative things around him, he was able to go and turn them into positives or rectify them.
Does Lane need to tweet more or less? Because he kept tweeting through it after the rough weekend.
I think he needs to tweet more. Maybe we should have Rico send him a tweet from the ticket. Merry Christmas. You remember what I did to you, homecoming? And I only can imagine what he would reply. Then you got Auburn, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Missouri. So it's letting you know right there that this is the transfer.
A lot of South.
The transfer portal is essentially how the SEC is going to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get you to year 1. We'll get you to year 3.
But you know who you haven't said yet?
Who?
Georgia and Alabama.
No.
Or Tennessee.
They haven't had,
top 3 teams in the SEC.
Top 3 teams, yeah. And they probably have a little bit more sturdier footing than the other teams. I think the other teams are still trying to catch up, right? Yeah. I'm surprised Alabama hasn't had a lot of defections yet. And I think it'll really be what Jalen Milroe does or doesn't do, and if he comes back or not.
What do you do if you're him?
I don't know what his relationship is like with DeBoer. I think he has so much going on down there in a positive way. I think DeBoer needs him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he needs DeBoer because I think DeBoer has experience with Michael Penix. I think a year 2 with those two together, if they kind of can get more locked in, I think it could be really, really a good situation because when you look at the quarterback landscape, you could just maybe say just off the top of my head in the SEC that Nico's maybe a little bit better. It's questionable.
He struggled in the big games.
Yep. I don't know what I'm gonna take that back. There's not a better quarterback now, and that coming next year. No,
Milroe was better than Beck was this year for my money.
Yeah, and so it'd be Milroe and Beck.
Dart's
gone.
Yeah.
So that
Ewers, if he comes back, or Arch.
I still like Milroe.
Okay.
Experience.
Nussmeier at LSU.
He's probably that's the second pack.
Okay.
Him, Arch, Quinn Ewers. But first
Lagway
of all,
is young Milroe right now.
Yeah, he's
He's
a good year away from being in the conversation. I'm gonna tell you this right now, Quinn Ewers. I'm telling you this right now. This is Uncle Jay talking to you.
Camera's right there.
Yeah, listen to you. My brother. Win every game possible. If you choose to come back, it will not be at the University of Texas in Austin. Do not think by any means that you're going to be the starting quarterback next year. And if you do, you will be costing yourself a lot of money.
Sincerely, Uncle Jay.
Sincerely, Uncle Jay.
Merry Christmas.
There's no way. I mean, there's no reason. There's no way.
No.
You got to play Arch.
How could you not? And Ewers wasn't even bad against Clemson.
No, but you have that over your shoulder. Every bad read, it's like that dude. He can do that, right? We can get a little bit farther than that. He has the it factor, and Arch ain't showing none either.
The best thing about Arch so far is the long touchdown run.
Long touchdown run, the celebration dance. He got a little rhythm though. Yes. So we know that he. Listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Arch. He seasons his meat. Him and Tim Brando can get down like Charlie Brown. There's interesting teams on here, Austin. Alabama's 5 or at 22 with 5 commits. North Carolina at 10. Arizona. I'm gonna give a shout out to Arizona, man. They signed my man Trey Spivey. Junior Spivey's son was originally at K-State, 6'4", about 210. Homeboy is a late bloomer. Didn't pick up football until his junior year. He was a baseball player because his dad played, obviously in major leagues. In juniors, obviously he's taller than his dad. I don't know. I always mess with his dad. I was like, yeah, he gonna tear you up. And then Trey is even the youngest one is even doper. So he's in trouble. But he just signed with the Arizona Wildcats. I want to give a shout out to him. Vanderbilt up there.
Okay, Vandy. Okay.
10
Avia
commits.
too.
Yeah.
Avia back.
Yeah, so it's 11.
Yeah.
And then you got Miami, who's been struggling. They only got 4. But here's the one that's a little interesting here. Oklahoma State. 15 commits.
Woo!
Get Mike Gundy to take a pay cut to go into NIL. 15 commits out of the portal. All of them 3 stars though.
There you go.
Of course, Colorado has 11. Nebraska has great quality. You have 9 commits, and he has 7 of them 3 or 4 star, 3 4 stars as well. So Nebraska's getting a lot of uptick there. So it's, it's I think, I mean, the Gophers with 14. I don't know why would you want to go to the Gophers, but Florida State has 9 commits. They got about 5 of them from Nebraska, but it just kind of get in where you fit in, and this stuff is just the starting point. It lets you know kind of where your program is or where they're trying to go and how fast they're going. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean everything, but it means something. And then you got Indiana at 36 with 8 commits. When we talk at the college football playoffs, top of the hour, I want the ticket listeners to weigh in on this as well, and your Christmas break memories. Was this beatdown weekend needed for future progress? That's the big question. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or is this an overreaction based on time off, continuity, and just circumstances of Indiana being on the road? Now, I will tell you this before we go to break. I've never seen a head coach go live on national TV 3 hours before the game and just start spewing trash talk left and right. I've never seen that. I think sometimes when they say the moment is too big, it's not just about the players. Sometimes the adults or the coaches can get a little bit enamored with it as well. But we're going to take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, quick segment at the bottom of the hour and get the party started at the 5 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith. Innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
It's that special time of year again, with bowl games galore, ugly Christmas sweater parties, and way too much eggnog. And like clockwork, you still haven't bought any gifts yet. Great news! Your procrastination headquarters this year is at Tailored Life in Bennett. Avoid the long lines in Lincoln stores and head down Highway 2 to Bennett, just a 20-minute drive, and their staff will help you pick out the perfect gift for your mom, wife, or significant other. Procrastination has an answer this year at Tailored Life in Bennett.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Forward, Austin Oerman? Quick segment here. We got my man John in Southeast Lincoln. He said he remembers one Christmas when he was little, having a pheasant for our Christmas Day meal. I never had pheasant since. Not for me. I thought it was going to be a good story. He's like, I think that the NCAA needs to seed teams by strength of schedule. Some teams didn't belong, Indiana and SMU, in the playoffs. Thanks, John. We appreciate the story. Well, also want texters to text in. What's worse, pheasant or duck or geese to eat or goose to eat?
Would it surprise you if I've had none of them?
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Correct.
Yeah,
I've had none of them, so I am.
But I think
unqualified.
now you can just smoke it. Can't you make jerky out of it? At least the worst case scenario.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
But I heard that geese or goose is real gamey and like, so it's kind of like pretty much like chicken thighs. See, I can eat that. I like it. I like this little flavor.
But why not just have a chicken if you're gonna have goose?
Because they're out there shooting. You gotta be out there.
I guess.
I'm home.
I guess I would probably rank them duck because I know I've heard good things about duck, then pheasant, then goose. If I had to guess what I would like.
I think I've had duck before. Matter of fact, I know I've had duck before. It's actually pretty good, but you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I've watched too much of
Baker. Pheasant is really good, but duck is horrible. Duck is like fancy though, isn't it? Like rare. It's exotic.
Here we go. The OG CJ says goose is terrible unless it's jerky. See, I heard
like
that.
Jay said.
Love popcorn style pheasant. What does that mean?
Oh, like popcorn chicken, but popcorn pheasant.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to fry that bad boy up. That lets you know they ain't really that good.
But you can fry anything that's going to be good.
You better know how to fry.
Do you know how to fry?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you fry?
Everything. Paper too. Learn from my grandma. Yeah, we had fried everything.
Let's go.
We used to call it tempura, but that stuff was fried. Feel it. Hey, she like, here you go right there. I eat one of them. I was full. No, nothing but batter. But let me see. Here we go right here. Jay, if you ate Christmas meal on the training table from Art McWilliams, you probably had duck because we had duck every year we had duck every year for the 13 years that he worked there. Yes, I had duck there. I had also had duck. Here's a I guess a Christmas tradition that was started just because of the NFL. So one of my good friends from the NFL was a guy named Troy Evans.
Okay.
Terrible T-Roy. I mean, he a wild boy from Cincinnati.
Poor guy.
Yeah, no, but he tough as nails though. Tough dude. So Troy came. I was there. Troy was there first. I came in. We became good friends. Both of us linebackers. And so so Troy, he grew up in a big family. He had like 3 brothers. His dad was cool, Big Mike. Big family, kind of big, family or whatever. So one of their traditions was, I think, Christmas Eve was Chinese food. So that's where I got duck. So we went.
That's
so
awesome.
Listen, we drove all around Houston to find it, like to find one place that would let I think it was either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, one of the two. So it's Christmas break. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna try some duck. I'm glad I didn't get food poisoning, and I would have missed the game. But that was one of my fondest memories driving around Houston. It was a ghost town.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we're talking.
A town of what? 3 million people?
Yeah, I'm talking about 8, 9 o'clock at night. Me and Troy rolling around, and there wasn't any GPS phones. Cell phones were still very like. We didn't have maps on it or anything, so we
end up down in the ward.
No, we knew we knew our way out of there. We got one more here. Matt says duck is absolutely fantastic. In college, we would dice up pheasant breast and then put it on was it linguine with a cream of mushroom sauce. And the only way that I will eat goose is if it's made into jerky. So there it is, jerky. Goose is jerky, so it's not very good. Duck is a delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
Pheasant is a man's
Fried.
meat. Man's meat.
Man's meat?
Yeah.
Man's
meat? I think when you get pheasant, I think when I've watched some stuff on YouTube and on TikTok, they shoot the pheasants, gut them, and it's you get dirty.
How many shots do you think it take me to get a pheasant?
You?
Yeah.
Oh, no. First of all, I'd like to see you shoot a shotgun because I know that kick.
Hey, I nailed some pop cans when I was in 8th grade, okay?
But a real one, a kickback on you would be.
I know I'm skinny. I'm not small. Yeah. I'm wiry, Jay. I'm wiry.
All right. I'll give you. You my partner in crime. I ain't gonna go too far on you, man.
I want to be honest though, because
but I'm gonna tell you right there, it would knock a little midget Rico over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Anyways, D Train says duck is awesome. Mississippi Mud Dog says this. Give me a
no. Not gonna do it.
Mississippi Mud Dog. I will tell you, I'd be right there with you. I would be right there with you with the hieroglyphics.
The duck won't be the only thing smoking?
No. And I got an idea, man. You ever seen Snoop Dogg's reality show?
Mm-hmm.
How he has his little cabin?
Mm-hmm.
That's my winter project. What do you think? And
Go get it.
I'm going to put a sign out there. Jay's lane.
Do not disturb.
You know how they say stay in your lane?
Mm-hmm. You'll stay in your lane.
We're going to Jay's lane. Rico's now leaving the building. Want to wish him Merry Christmas. All the stuff he does. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, think, and talk about this college football playoff.
He's mad.
Is he?
He's mad.
When isn't Rico mad? Rico, you're just naturally mad. We love you, though. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, we'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. They are thankful for many things this year and every year, and hope that everyone is able to enjoy time with family and friends during this joyful celebration. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. And tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henrys at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law Group at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School Crew, 5 o'clock hour on Christmas. Was it Christmas, Adam?
Christmas Adam.
Christmas Adam. We're coming at you live, 1040 O Street. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andromat, 168th and Maple up there in the O. It is college football playoff time. Obviously, a lot was said, tweeted, and continue to be talked about. If you saw the controversy with First Take on ESPN or Kirk Herbstreit and Fowler throwing shots over the bow at Stephen A. Smith and First Take about their assessment of Ryan Day and what his job status should be if he doesn't happen to continue to push forward and win a national championship. You had Indiana getting, I wouldn't say exposed. They just got beat SMU, I think, probably looked the worst, and it was mainly because of Jennings, the quarterback. But I will tell you this: I felt like Jennings is probably, of all the teams in there, probably the worst quarterback as far as being able to have his game but be efficient enough to play in a big time game on the road like that. I just think it's so new to him. There's a lot left to be told as far as where he can go as far as a player, and I think that was just on display on those 2 interceptions for touchdowns against Penn State.
And even before the 2 pick sixes, I would say the drop on 4th and 3 when they go for it, right? They're trying to send a message on the road, we belong, and then the drop.
Yeah.
Penn State still probably wins, but it's interesting for at least another quarter.
Oh yeah, I think when that happens, that takes all the wind out of the sails for not only Jennings, the quarterback, but as the team. And it's different if Penn State broke up the pass, Penn State tackle for a loss, stone cold drop.
Yeah.
So then it starts to weigh in your mind. Are we cold? Penn State thinks they're cold. Well, you're on the road. You shot your shot way too early because kind of you think on the road you want to be steady. I always talk about let's get first downs, conservative, play defense, play field position. They came in, say we're going to come in swinging. Probably felt they had an uphill battle. It just didn't work out well. He didn't play well. The whole team didn't play well. Defensively, I felt like they did better than I thought they would.
Sure.
I think they really only gave up, 7 points, maybe 10. But when you're down and if you give up 1 touchdown on offense, you generally don't win. If you be able to, the game's over. And we saw a lot of those games, and we'll bounce around here. That Ohio State Tennessee game was. I think that's the Ohio State offense and the team that people were expecting, Ohio State to be like with a, close to $20 million roster. But ultimately, they just overwhelmed Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee just looked dead in the water. They looked like they were like running in quicksand. I mean, it just didn't look good. I mean, it didn't look effective. They didn't. The thing that made me mad about Tennessee was
Jamal Lewis going there instead of here.
No, because one of the coaches wanted him to play linebacker. I was like, yeah, dude, it looks like a first round NFL running back, but because he was 20, 25 out of high school.
Anyway, sorry to distract you.
But I think with Tennessee, I felt like of any team, if you took Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, of course Texas A&M, I felt like they played their way into it. They deserved it.
Okay,
you're right. I mean, right? I mean, Bama, you got 3 losses. Ole Miss, you lost Florida or whatever.
Kentucky,
excuse me. You like where Tennessee. Tennessee wasn't dominant, but they didn't throw up on themselves.
Right.
And going up against a team in Ohio State that had huge injuries across their offensive line, and you felt like the continuity wasn't there because they got exposed against Michigan. What's the strength of Tennessee supposedly? Their defensive line.
Yeah.
What's the strength of Tennessee offensively? Their running back and offensive line, which set up Nico, the quarterback, to be, thought of to be, on the next, group of quarterbacks that's going to be drafted in the first 2 rounds, star-studded X, Y, and Z. And then they just go up there and they look like, first of all, they look like they was cold.
They did.
Yeah.
All that performative stuff, shirts off to warm up. No.
Well, here's the deal: is like when you're used to playing in the cold, you just look. If I looked down the field and saw a bunch of guys running without their shirts, oh, that's cool. First of all, it's stupid. Number one, I want to warm up in what I'm going to play in.
Mm-hmm.
And so just in case I have to make any changes, first of all, when I'm playing, I ain't worried about how cold it is. It could be below. Everybody's cold out there.
Yeah.
I think some people think because you play in Nebraska or you play somewhere else that, yes, people that come up from the South, they're going to be a little bit colder, but that's because they're not used to the elements. But when you're out there playing, when you go out there, it's not like I don't realize it's cold. But here's where I knew that Tennessee was cold when they were doing that. So they came out there with no shirts on, doing their bands and everything like that. And then when you saw all those players, or majority of them, when they showed up to play the game, they all had long sleeve shirts on and like the mask over their head. Well, then you just wasted your time. You just wasted your time warming up, and that's what your focus was. So when they went into the locker room, they were checking to see amongst themselves who had their shirt on and who didn't, versus talking about, okay, I'm wearing these cleats. Remember what we talked about in this. I like the vibe of the stadium. I mean, the more things that are prevalent to the game. They were all with the glitz and glamour. And that's the difference when you get into games like this. The reason why, like on the flip side, when you think of teams that got somewhat embarrassed last weekend, Indiana, I truly feel like Notre Dame being in that arena before, both with the Marcus Freeman as a defensive coordinator with Brian Kelly, and then obviously as a head coach being in bigger games, and then also administration and just all the makings of it, they had more experience. And here's a perfect example: is Kirk Cignetti, from the very first time that he took the job at Indiana, has been quote worthy. But 3 hours before the game. 3 hours before the game. So it tells me, and I think about it a little bit deeper. So if you're there 3 hours before the game on set, that means you had to leave potentially early from your team hotel, which then therefore you left your team early. Or maybe they didn't, right? Maybe they all came over there earlier together, but you left the locker room to go live on ESPN on national TV. And then what you said was you set yourself up to look like an idiot. And he's not. He's a really good coach. It's good, more than a commendable job than what he's done. I think he's for real. I think Indiana is for real. Will they be to the same tune every year? No, nobody really will. I think they will be a player because I know he can recruit. He's recruited some Julio Jones and Amari Cooper, all those guys at Bama. He's done that. He's won everywhere he's been, but it also shows the lack of experience being in it. Playing for a national championship or being in that type of environment at James Madison is totally different than you going on the road to South Bend against Notre Dame. It's totally different.
When we look at those 4 first-round games, Jay, I mean, I think 3 of the 4 programs that lost looked like they were new to the stage, to your point, right? Indiana with Cignetti.
Yeah.
You can look at SMU. I mean, played the same way they've played all year, but you can't necessarily get away with that against a more talented team.
Yeah.
You got to button it up and find a way. And then Tennessee, right? That's immaturity in a program.
Yeah.
Good, had a good year, but you can just tell it's a program that hasn't been back to that stage since, after you were gone.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, Philip Fulmer, pretty much.
Right, 98
Yeah.
is the last time they were there at that stage. So you can just tell that even if the players aren't immature, the coaches aren't immature, it's just programs that haven't been there.
Yeah.
They don't have that in their DNA and have their identity. The one that did look like it belonged was Clemson, who was just outmatched.
Yeah.
Right? That's championship DNA. It's a coach that's been there before that knows how to handle the moment. But none of that is to say that those 4 losing teams didn't deserve to be there based on what they did in the regular season, right? Yeah, Indiana scores a couple touchdowns late. They only lose by 10. That wasn't a 10-point game.
What is that called? Backdoor cover?
Backdoor cover. That's what it was.
It wasn't even a cover.
It wasn't even a cover, but they made it interesting. But Indiana's regular season earned them the right to be there. And now the challenge for them, the challenge for SMU, going undefeated in the ACC until the championship game to Clemson, and then the challenge for Tennessee is this is what it takes to get here. Now, how do we take that next step? Right,
Yeah.
Nico's got to be better. He was not good in their games against ranked teams, but
No.
Tennessee found a way to win a couple of them. Kevin Jennings, you can play risk reward ball, but then you better be hosting.
Yeah.
You better be playing in a climate and against a team that you're more evenly matched with, because if you make those mistakes, better teams are going to make you pay. And then Indiana, they have to be true to themselves. That was just Cignetti being Cignetti. But it kind of felt like it was a step too far. Like you said, 3 hours before the game, like be you, do you. You got to do what got you there. But also have some reverence, have some respect for the moment, right?
Yeah.
Understand that this is the biggest game of your life, biggest game of all your players' lives. You can be true to yourself, stay comfortable in who you are and be confident without doing extra theatrics that maybe he's trying to take the attention off his team.
Yeah, or you're
but
trying...
it turns out to be a bad look because of how the game went.
Yeah, I think maybe sometimes you're trying to speak that confidence into your team and you're trying to maybe almost lie to yourself, but I also think that he's new to this and you got to give him a little bit of leeway, but ultimately he came back as an egg on his face. I think the one thing, about Clemson, and you're 100% right, Dabo had a pretty interesting quote after the game. He's like, listen, we got outmatched. We got to get better everywhere. We're good enough to win our league. We're good enough to win the ACC championship. We're good enough to get into college football playoffs. We're not championship worthy yet.
Yeah.
I mean, to have that type of self-reflection, that quick after a game. And especially, I could argue if they would have got that fourth down play and got that touchdown, and got it within 7, they don't give up that long run to go down 14.
Right.
Because that took the win. Now they're razor thin, but if they got it, it's a different game. So even a team that probably played better than people predicted thinks they're far off when they're actually probably not, versus a team like Indiana, they probably think they're a lot closer than they aren't than far. And then same thing with SMU. It's going to be interesting to see, how these teams, verify what they did before. Now they're going to be facing some of the same things that we talked about with the Houston Texans, the expectations versus reality. And the one thing for Huskers fans listening out here, and I always remember back when we played Ohio State and game day came here. Ohio State just showed up, and I remember seeing Urban. I think was Urban Meyer the coach then?
Yeah.
Urban Meyer was coaching. I was down there, and he was stone cold cussing out this punter. I was like, dang.
The punter
during pregame warmups, because he wanted the punter to punt a certain way based on the wind condition. When I tell you he was giving him the business, my man was wound up tight. But there was no different. He didn't care that they were the huge favorite. He didn't care that it was game day. We've been here, done that. I want things done the right way. Now I think on the flip side, I think with game day being here, and you could go down campus starting on Thursday, Friday, you camp out. I think it was a night game.
Yep.
I think Indiana faced a little bit what we did at that point in time. Happy to be here. We arrived because game day was here. Indiana felt like they maybe arrived because they were going to play Notre Dame, and they got beaten. I think Notre Dame played really excellent. I think Indiana down the stretch, I wouldn't say they were playing bad. I think they were playing the same that they played all year. I think the teams that they played were better, and teams were more prepared for them. Whereas I think Notre Dame, I will say this, if Indiana played the same Notre Dame team that faced Texas A&M, Indiana wins. I think Notre Dame got 2 or 3 steps better, especially down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then added some spice to it too. For the way that they played USC and beat them down, that lets you know they had a little bit of edge. And maybe that's from Marcus Freeman, and maybe that's from the leaders that they have on the team. It's a different Notre Dame team that you saw earlier than the year down there at Texas A&M, and that's where I think the difference was. And then, when you look at the Tennessee game, it's interesting because you hear people argue, Alabama lost, 3 games, but they beat 3 ranked teams, and they would say an Oklahoma team that played a lot of close games is better than Indiana versus their record and strength of schedule. Ultimately, you got to win some games. Yeah. Ultimately, Ole Miss, you can't lose game to Kentucky. You cannot lose that game. Just like Bama cannot lose to Vanderbilt. I don't care.
Or Oklahoma.
Right, but I can't. Vanderbilt's worse. Because you're going to see, there's going to be 2 or 3 generations of families that ain't never going to see that again.
True.
So it's worse.
Yeah, valid.
And I would, and in Oklahoma, you understand, because they're a blue blood. They can rise up to the occasion every once in a while. So I think when you just cannot have those type of losses during the season and then complain about it. But ultimately, there were some teams that were potentially exposed. Here's what I'm gonna ask you, Austin. Do you think teams were exposed, or do you think the seeding was exposed? See, I still think those teams have kind of obviously won their way in there. I would have liked to seen those. I would have liked to seen Arizona State, Indiana. I would have liked to seen Boise, against SMU. I would have liked to seen those, because I really don't think Boise deserved a bye week. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Valid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would have liked to seen better matchups. And I think you would have saw more competitive games, even if you kind of, obviously put Ohio State in different ones. I think you would have seen more competitive games, which then would allowed one of those the 1 or 2 teams that got through that first weekend be more competitive in the second weekend. It would have been a better overall product than seeing, hey, we're excited Friday and Saturday night, and all 3 of them are blowouts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked out the way the seeding told you it would work out, right?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 all win.
Yep.
And they all look better than their opponents. I do think that It is a little funny that according to the odds, Penn State has a better path to the national championship game than Oregon does.
That's what
I think
exactly.
there's a lot going on with the setup of the bracket and the way that the seeding works in that case. So I think the teams themselves weren't exposed. They were supposed to lose. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be that close. I mean, Tennessee should have played it closer in the 8-9. You think about March Madness, right? Those are supposed to be some of your tightest games. And I thought Tennessee had a chance to make it a game. Down 21-10, momentum, ball after halftime. They didn't capitalize on that first possession. Ohio State's back off to the races. So, I mean, I don't think they were exposed in that they didn't deserve to be there. What I think it was, Jay, was just more a reflection on the state of college football in that this is why I didn't think we needed a playoff to begin with. There aren't going to be 12 championship-worthy teams every year. Sure, in the NFL, you can get a wild card team that goes on a run. You can get a team in Major League Baseball or the NBA that plays its way up from down low. College football, for as many upsets as we see, it's still not a parity-driven sport to that degree in the postseason. Never has been, it never will be. It's one-off games. It's new territory for Division I FBS football to have a playoff. And sure, maybe these teams will rise up. And I'm not trying to say we just need Big Ten and SEC teams in the playoff. That's the furthest thing from my mind. Like, Arizona State deserves to be in the playoff because they won a conference. Boise State is the Group of 5 champion. Sure, put them in. Clemson won the conference championship game. Throw them in. SMU the year they had. Sure, throw them in. But I think what we're finding is that college football needs a way to kind of do what college basketball has done for most of the last 10 years, and that's have 5, 6, 7 championship caliber teams, right? We've just gotten so used to Michigan being almost hands down the best team, or Georgia being hands down the best team, or Alabama, and who's the upstart that's going to challenge them. We don't have 12 championship caliber teams. We won't have 14 championship caliber teams in the NFL, but that's the way that system's always been. It's been set up for those wild card teams to make a run like it hasn't in college. So if we're going to keep the 12-team playoff, we have to fix the seeding. But I would rather get rid of the 12 teams before I fix the seeding because I think 12 is too many.
I think you can get 12 because I think as this thing goes on, parity will start to even be more rampant.
Okay.
In particular because the quarterback play is going to be so bad. So that means when you got back, it brings everything in there. And I think you can get a special quarterback that can lead teams into, prosperity. And you got to also pump the brakes and not just be so in the moment driven. You got to think if Miami's defense could just do anything sustainable, Miami's in.
Yeah.
If Ole Miss and or Bama, heck, throw LSU in there and Texas A&M, you get better teams in there. So is it every year you're going to see those teams all dookie down their leg? Most likely not. So I think the 12 is going to be there. I still think it would be extremely top heavy, but I also think with the time off in between your last even championship game in this game, the transfer portal, which will, I'm assuming, slow down a little bit, NIL, it still can lead to some upsets, and that's what I think they want. And I think obviously is going to be good TV. I think it's never going to be perfect. I just think this year it's almost like a learning lesson. But I think if I'm Oregon, I'm the only undefeated team out here, and I play essentially just the best looking team the next week, and we're not even favored.
No. And here's the part of that.
And then Penn State, who we beat the brakes off of, has an easier path than we do.
Yeah. They're favored by 10.5, I think was the opening line over Boise. I want to address this from Colgan Jay on the text line. I completely disagree with Austin. I think the playoff games, especially the home playoff games, had amazing atmosphere, and it will figure itself out. I think it's great for college football, and the playoff is a welcome and beautiful change. I wasn't mad at 4. I think you can find 4 teams that you can credibly say can win the national championship every given year. I also think the longer the playoffs are, the more likely you are to have a quote-unquote truer champion. Right? Think about March Madness, where you have to win 6 games. It's hard to do. That's why you can have Cinderella runs to the Elite Eight or to the Final Four, whatever.
Final Four,
but to sustain that over 6 games over 3 weeks
Yeah.
is incredibly difficult to do. So that's where I think I would rather see a system where Washington, clearly one of the 4 best teams in the country last year, you know, the quote unquote underdog against Texas and then against Michigan. I'd rather see a system where all a really darn good, deserving Washington team has to do is win 2 games instead of give more cracks to an Ohio State that maybe let itself down against Michigan or whatever. Don't get me wrong. The playoff is fine. The playoff is fun. I think there are ways to do it. But the other flaw in the system is what Jay was just talking about. Jay Foreman, not Colgan Jay. Sorry for confusion there. But the fact that Oregon has an extra bye week is extremely helpful to get healthy, to get rested up, to get game planning. But because the home environments were so good, that's again why I think either we need 2 rounds of home playoff games or we need no rounds of home playoff games. And I don't want to take the home games away. So I would rather have 1 round of home playoff games, but teams 1, 2, 3, 4 deserve those. Not just teams 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, I think it's going to be a tough sell to the bowl system.
Have the 5, 6, 7, 8 actually play this weekend bowl sites, and then the home teams get. I like that idea.
Games. That's the way I would fix it.
You know, one thing I want to pose to the ticket listeners: if you are a top 4 seed, do you feel like you get the? Now, look, you're going into you're playing with house money now.
Yeah,
but ultimately, say if it's Nebraska, I'd rather have my chances here in a couple days or whenever it is cold. 100,000 people in there versus having to go down to the Fiesta Bowl. Yes, it's better weather, but we don't get that advantage.
Right.
I wonder what people would think. Like, what would they rather do? Would you rather have that second week home games for the top 4? And that would be a true advantage. Just imagine if you went and played like in like the Orange Bowl, Orange Bowl in that first week. Say Miami got the first week, like number 5. They play in the Orange Bowl. They're at home.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You win. Congratulations. You go to Lincoln, Penn State, Ohio State, or Oregon on the road.
And guess what? I think both teams would deserve that. Orange Bowl's a de facto home game for Miami. If they're the 5 seed, guess what? They're the best of the quote unquote rest. So they earned their home game. Give it to them. But then they weren't one of the first 4, so they have to go to a true road game next, instead of the advantage being they go from a home game to a neutral game.
Yeah, because they could actually come in a little bit better rhythm that way. And so we got a good question here. What did it say? Insightful dude, he said, would you as a player rather have a bye or home playoff game? I would probably rather have, all things equal. I'm a big believer at this point in time, everybody's tired and there's enough space in between games. I'd rather probably play, especially if it's a home game. But if you get a bye week, that means you would like to think
you see Notre Dame lose a key defensive player. Texas is down a couple guys now too.
I'd actually probably say I'd rather have a bye week.
But it doesn't have to be either or. The way the system is set up, it's either or. But we can easily tweak the system where you get both or you get none.
Yeah.
And that's the most fair.
And that would actually amp up regular season because we are playing to win. And then you get point differential and in the eye test and all that stuff. It might be adjustment that they might do, but we're going to adjust. So we're going to take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 31st is 30% off on Smithy pans. The Mercado is closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and it wishes you and yours a very happy holidays. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law Group at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
It's that special time of year again, with bowl games galore, ugly Christmas sweater parties, and way too much eggnog. And like clockwork, you still haven't bought any gifts yet. Great news! Your procrastination headquarters this year is at Tailored Life in Bennett. Avoid the long lines in Lincoln stores and head down Highway 2 to Bennett. Just a 20-minute drive, and their staff will help you pick out the perfect gift for your mom, wife, or significant other. Procrastination has an answer this year at Tailored Life in Bennett.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, second segment, 5 o'clock hour. Little portal update. Jonah Pace, the defensive lineman from Central Michigan, picked Iowa over Nebraska. Knucklehead. Still has time to change his mind, though. We got a couple texts in here, Austin. 1075, he said, I would rather play Ohio State at full strength in the quarterfinals than risk playing them later with possible injuries. Yeah, I could see both sides of that. Cole M says Shane Gillis was hinted at Signetti at being on set, leaving his team, and asked Saban if he would do that. Saban wasn't even joking around with Shane Gillis. He said no.
No, that's not. But again, I think there's room for reasonable minds to disagree on whether or not Signetti should have done it. Obviously, it's a bad look because of the way the game went. But Jay, I can guarantee you that if Colorado had been in the college football playoff and they had, gotten College Game Day there, Deion's on stage. But part of Deion's thing is he deflects a lot of blame and credit for his players, right?
But he's never been on there 3 hours before. He goes over there in the morning when their game day was.
You don't think he goes up there 3 hours before?
Prime locked in.
So it would be on brand for him to be on the stage 3 hours before game.
Yeah, he just says I'm prime.
Yeah.
I could see him doing it. But that's just him.
Right, like obviously Saban's not going to do that, right? I think Saban's being honest. I don't think Saban was just playing to the moment when he said, No, I think Saban's the guy that is locked in. He's business. You want me come record something early in the day, but I think a guy like
I think
Prime is out there.
I think Dion would interview coming off the bus. I don't see him leaving the locker room and going on national TV like that.
Okay.
I think I could see him over there in the morning or extremely early, because I could tell you this from a little experience I have, I guess, signing autographs next to Dion, not working alongside him.
You're basically business partners if you're signing autographs next to him.
He was very businesslike. It's like, I'm going to be here at this time. This is when I can do it. Make it happen. Call me back when it's done. So but I could see him doing it. But there's only one person that could do that. And his name ain't Kurt. First name ain't Kurt. Last name ain't Signetti.
Right.
So I mean, I think a big deal is made out of it. It's like a lot of things. People make a lot of big deals out of quotes, and all this stuff when you lose. It's just like the whole handshake thing at Iowa, or supposedly I didn't see any footage of Matt Rule going through their warm-ups. I just saw him walking around. Like, if I saw, like, I would see, like, what was it, like John Blake or whoever the Colorado coach walking around, I was like, I would try to hit him with a football. That's what I would probably do. Oops, my bad.
Sorry, didn't see you.
Austin, throw me a hard one. Get out of the way. I wouldn't have said anything after the game. Now, I will tell you, we played Florida down there in the Fiesta Bowl, and they ran through when we were in when we were stretching and kicked our helmets. That's different than a coach running all the way around the field, and you got all your little track stuff up there, and then all of a sudden you get mad, like, oh, so we gotta go over here. It's like, and then the whole handshake thing. I think it was, whether that was whatever they chose to do, that's the team's choice. I think it became magnified when you lose. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Those things are looked upon positive when you win and negative when you lose.
Well, the difference would have been Iowa still would have looked at it negatively.
Yeah.
But it would have sounded like, oh, they're crying. Oh, they're whining. They didn't win. Look at all the disrespectful stuff you guys have done to us in the past. At least stuff that's been interpreted as disrespectful. It cries the river. But because Iowa won, they say, oh, look how small you are. Look how you have to try to amp yourself up.
Right.
So even the action itself, to your point, doesn't change. But the perception of it, how it's talked about, is completely different just based off of 60 minutes of football.
Yeah, and look, man, I think, like I said, when somebody asked me about it, I was like, I've been out there. We played a team and pleasantries were exchanged. And I don't think there was handshaking going on. I mean, that's just what happens sometimes out there. And you should do it. I always feel like you look your opponent in the eye and shake their hand and just go through the deal. So, I mean, but also I understand if I don't feel like shaking your hand, I ain't going to shake your hand. And quite frankly, if you're going to do something about it, then I'm willing to deal with the ramifications, both good and bad.
Yeah, right.
So you got to stand on business, so, but I just think, Kirk Signetti, I think it's just one of those things that now it looks like you've never been there before and all that stuff. I'm sure he wish he probably could have minced his words. I think I think for him, and I understand where he's coming from, he knows and feels his team is a legit good team.
Yeah.
He knows those players. He's been around a lot of football, and they are a good team. I think when people started to question that, he went straight scorched earth. Look, not only did Nebraska came in 25, we didn't just beat them, we beat the blank out of them. Now I will tell you this: Kirk Signetti, that ain't changed. He was popping off after they beat us, right?
He was
immediately. Yep. I thought their defense was supposed to be good. Well, we scored 56 points. That's why sometimes I think I wish I could talk to the players. Listen, when you play dudes like this right here, that you can't. He's like, I got one of my good friends back in Charlotte named Pat. If we played 21 in basketball, or if we played anything 10 times and I beat him 7, he's talking about the 3.
Right.
And that 3 is equal to 30. So you can't never let him beat you, or you're better off not playing. So that's just part of the deal, and that's just part of the college football playoffs, and that's part of the way the thing shook out, man.
Of the teams that lost, who do you feel most confident in getting back next year?
Clemson. Now I think
Okay,
I think the road, but not necessarily though. As I said it, because that's the easy thing. So I'm gonna take that back myself. I think Clemson could be in for bigger problems with Bill Belichick, Hoodie being around. You got to assume Miami's going to still be good. Let's say whether it's NC State, SMU, or another
Wake Forest, you're one with the new coach. Pitt finishes the deal.
Pitt, or just say there's another team that would be able to compete with you. So it's not going to be
Blue Devils.
Yeah, I like Manny Diaz. I mean, because Clemson has a lot of problems in positions that you don't know if they're going to be willing to fix or can fix immediately. Explosiveness on the outside, second level speed at linebacker position, playmaking at the third level safety position, what you need to play. So as I said it, I can actually pull it back. I would probably say a team out of the 4 this weekend that potentially could get back in there next year. Oddly enough, I could actually say we're SMU.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there.
And really, and it's for the same reasons why they got their butt kicked. I'm going to assume that the quarterbacks, first of all, if the quarterback plays a little bit better than he did this year, they're almost there. And if the defense continues to grow, they're in trouble because they're aggressive. They can match up with you, and they're awful competitive as well.
A quarterback like Jennings, obviously he's got the big playability in it for both teams. Is that a guy that you want to double down and amplify the rate at which you go risk reward? Do you double down on risk reward, or do you try to kind of smooth out the edges and try to make him more consistent? Maybe not quite as explosive, but not quite as detrimental with the interceptions and negative plays too.
You know what I do? I bring him in. We'll go over the season, and then we sit back and we just watch 12 games of Cam Ward. That's exactly how I want you to play. Cam Ward's the most aggressive quarterback that's came in college football in the last 10 years, but it's calculated.
Yeah.
And it seems to work out real well for him.
He has some of that stuff you can't teach.
Right. He does have the intangibles, the it factor, but he also has he's studied, he knows the game. And so when you can take what he does well, Cam Ward does, and he actually gets more conservative at the right time so he can be aggressive. So set up your aggressiveness.
Well, there's a difference between aggressive and conservative, right? You can be aggressive without being reckless.
Right.
You can still be conservative, but still be aggressive.
First thing we're going to do, we're going to put up reckless on the whiteboard. Let's get that out of there. And let's talk about these first 2 series against Penn State. What would we, not you, since what would we do better or different this year than next year against any team? On the road, raucous environment. We could be going to get into the ACC championship, and we got to play steady. Do you think we're trying to fit that pass in there?
No, coach.
Why? Blank. What would be 1 or 2 viable options based on what you see up there?
Run, throw it away.
Right. And this is why. You're not coming to the bench. I need you to make more championship winning plays, and these are the plays that you don't get in your stat sheet. Those are the plays that actually, let's go to Nebraska before we talk about the bowl game. And we'll have great coverage, obviously, Saturday morning from 8 to 11 as well. That's taking care of the football, I think, is probably one of the things I think Dylan doesn't get enough credit for. Sometimes he could be too conservative, and I like that as a young quarterback. Now, obviously, he went through a slow stretch there, but I think overall, especially at the beginning of the season, and then obviously towards the end, you'd like obviously to be no turnovers, but I think he actually played the position of quarterback early, with the importance on the football coming in, which is since we're the seniors from that last year are going. If he's on the team in first year of Matt Rule, they make a bowl game.
Yeah,
that's what Jennings needs. He needs a little bit of that mixed in. Skip rocks out there if you have to. Just get it. Just to live to fight another play. Because I think Jennings and quarterbacks like Jennings We've seen that this is actually how Cade Klubnik, I think, has gotten a lot better. So you see it right there. You saw it.
Shoot, Aller.
Right. Exactly. But you've seen him just make winning plays that don't show up in the stat sheet that allow you to make more plays that show up in the stat sheet. And it's hard.
Building blocks.
It's hard for young people and quarterbacks to understand that. It's the Tom Brady effect. Never lose a game.
Right.
Almost winning everything. Or you just got lucky. Pretty much. I mean, take the mindset of like Jack Nicklaus. He's like, man, I didn't run out of time. I didn't lose. I just ran out of holes.
Right.
So you just got to flip his mindset. But I think SMU overnight is more, and I will tell you this before we go to break. SMU is, I think, potentially is more sustainable than Indiana. But I like Indiana's coach better. I just think with the money, athletes, and where they're at, I think they're more sustainable.
Signetti just screams SMU, though.
Yes.
You know?
Hey.
Just like Will Wade needs to go to LSU, Kurt Signetti needs to end up at SMU.
Let me tell you something. If Kurt Signetti wins again next year, he's going to be hell on wheels. I'm just telling you right now.
Yep.
So whatever you need to do, you got to beat that dude. Because I can promise you this right now. I've got an old dad 35. I don't think Indiana wins as much as they did this year, next year, but I think they have a good season. I'm going to tell you this right now. He's going to try to run the score up on everybody. I'm just telling you. I mean, I know.
Get ready for it.
I know these type of dudes, and he's a great coach because now I'm telling you, he's back in Indiana in his chair, the same one he had James Madison, and he's hot. He mad because he got embarrassed.
Oh, and he hears you guys telling him he got embarrassed.
Yeah. So
okay, I'll show you.
Right. He's in the lab right now. And is it true that the quarterback is in the portal? O'Rourke? He's a senior.
Yeah, he's at eligibility.
Yeah. I was in the garage and somebody told me that. So anyways, yeah, but no, he's not. He's not. I already checked. But I'm telling you right now, Indiana. Matter of fact, we're going to take a quick break. Let's come back. Let's look at their schedule. No. We're not going to do that. This is the Husker Show. This is Husker Show. We're going to wish everybody Merry Christmas. Talk about our fondest Christmas memories in sports. All right. Isn't that the coin flip with Detroit or that's Thanksgiving? That's coin flip with Detroit and Pittsburgh. Anyway, I get them all mixed up. They all go together. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Looking to upgrade your equipment? Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer in Nebraska and northern Kansas, has an offer you don't want to miss. Through December, purchase a model year 2022, 23, or 24 tractor, combine, or sprayer, and take advantage of financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. That's right. Get the equipment you need with affordable payments designed to keep your operation running strong. Stop by your local Landmark Implement today or visit landmarkimp.com to learn more. Experience the Landmark difference.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. Tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
It's that special time of year again, with bowl games galore, ugly Christmas sweater parties, and way too much eggnog. And like clockwork, you still haven't bought any gifts yet. Great news! Your procrastination headquarters this year is at Tailored Life in Bennett. Avoid the long lines in Lincoln stores and head down Highway 2 to Bennett. Just a 20-minute drive, and their staff will help you pick out the perfect gift for your mom, wife, or significant other. Procrastination has an answer this year at Tailored Life in Bennett.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Last quick segment here before we depart here, Austin. Goes by quick, man.
Does.
Years go by quick. Obviously got a football game on Saturday. We'll be back on the air well before then, but look, man, sports is as much as holidays are great. Sports are right in there with it, man. Mm-hmm. So, for you, Austin, what's one of your fondest sports memories during the Christmas break?
I would have to go back to my senior year of high school. Playing at the Lutheran Invitational Tournament at Concordia up there in Seward. We won the tournament, won 2 games, took down Omaha Concordia in the first game. I think I had like 7 points in the first quarter and a layup to beat the buzzer in the third. Won that one by 15, 20 points. And then next game won by 15 or 20 points to win the tournament for the first time in a while. So that was for my money.
Yeah.
Best team in Lincoln Lutheran history. I know they went to the state finals last year. I know Coach Bowens, that crew has something to say about it.
I got you.
I love that team. I'll ride with that team for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's the cool thing is, and once you get older, and you start playing, obviously you play, I guess what they call club now. We kind of played like just for our city, like when I first moved to Minnesota, but really when you get into high school, and you play some of those tournaments and stuff like that, and you have special memories. It's pretty cool. My fondest memories always is being able to go out and watch sports throughout the whole. Essentially, it felt like Thanksgiving poured into Christmas when I go out to out to Frederick, Maryland and stuff, and hang out with family, soaking in all the knowledge.
Plenty of knowledge around that table, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a lot of funny stories, and the great thing about it, I guess,
it's knowledge. It counts.
Yeah, the great thing about it is this, and every year you would hear kind of like the same stories, but they always got better and better.
Oh, always that extra detail,
yeah,
right?
And and it'd be so it was pretty cool, man. But
who told the best stories at Frederick, Maryland?
I had an uncle. I have an uncle. He's still alive. Uncle Blood. That's what him and my Uncle Grease. Uncle Grease passed away. My youngest uncle, man, he's the dude. He actually believed in me, like he was the best. Uncle Grease was, but Uncle Blood was. And then obviously everybody get there and listen. It always ended, especially if weather permitted, with them going out on the little kind of like road racing the 40.
Do you have a scoreboard? Who won more?
Dudes. Uncle Blood, listen, Uncle Blood, his name's Dickie Hall. He was about 5'11" at this time. He was like a little ice box, about 275. He might have had the best start. He was like Ben Johnson out of the blocks. He raced where where Home Depot is out there with Nebraska Highway and 27.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We played a game. I remember it was one of the first games. I think it was when we played Louisiana Tech, or the next game. It was so hot, and we went to go eat, and we stopped over somewhere there to eat. And him and my dad got there in the parking lot. I stopped the car, literally pulled off and went out and ran a 40 while I'm sitting there dehydrated because I'm waiting to try to get some water, man. So that's some of my best memories, not only from Christmas, but sports as well. Wishing everybody happy and cheerful holidays and Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Be cheerful, be happy, be nice, and we'll be back shortly. Just like hopefully you guys miss us. If not, we'll miss you anyways. Jay Foreman. My man over there, Austin Oerman, DP, is in Hawaii doing his thing. Coverage in the game. Huskers tonight, I think at 9:30.
9:30.
Right? Listen.
I'm staying up. I'm passing the Hawaii test.
Hey, it's perfect. That's my bedtime, and I'm going to watch it till I fall asleep. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school. We'll holler at you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at the